All right, and we're live. All right, guys, so you read the title. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about, what my piano process is for my practice sessions and things like that. And so I thought it would be a good idea to make a video sort of showcasing just three quick, I don't know if I'll say quick, we'll see how long the video is, but just three things that I think are, I guess, most important when it comes to piano practice. Wow, look at that view. That's pretty good. You can kind of see everything there. It's interesting bird's eye view there. But yeah, three things that I think are very important. And I just want to kind of go through the three of them right now. Let me make sure my audio is good. Right now. Yep, that sounds good. All right, so let's dive in. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Thanks for joining. I think I had this session open for a little bit longer before going live, so hopefully that wasn't too disappointing or anything. But yeah. All right, so let's do it. So the three things I want to talk about today with regards to piano practice are, first thing is technique. Second thing is playing by ear. And the third thing is reading music. So to me, those are like the three different sort of things, for lack of a better word, that I want to kind of focus in on when I'm working through, my piano session. So the first thing right now, I mean, there's a lot of different things when it comes to technique. You hear people talk about doing scales. Did it wrong. There you go. Stage fright, nerves. But yeah, so I'm not going to do scales though. What I do want to do today is I want to show you guys what I'm currently sort of working on for my practice. So there's something called Hanen's Virtuoso Pianist. I don't know how sharp or clear it'll be, but this is my iPad here, and this is kind of what I use for my sheet music. It might be a little glare on there, I'm not sure. But yes, there's 60 exercises in this Hanen's Virtuoso Pianist that works on building strength and dexterity in both hands. And a lot of the stuff has to do with like these two fingers, which are your weakest fingers, your ring finger and pinky. And so I'm going to go through 5 of the exercises. They start not slow, but start, I guess, more basic, and then they kind of build up pretty quickly. And there's like sort of a small variation from part to part. So there's 60 of them. I've gone through the first 20, but I'll go through a few of them now and kind of talk through what's happening. So the very first one, you're going, how many octaves you're up? I think 2 octaves up, and it's basically doing the same thing on every measure. It's just going up 1 note for the first few. So first one sounds a little something like this. And then before I continue, you see when you get to that note, then it's doing the same thing just backwards. So now it's. So that is the first piece. Typically what you want to do, you want to start on a slow tempo. That was maybe medium what I just did, and maybe work up to 100 to 120. So like if I put the metronome on, like when I'm practicing this, I probably would sound like. And the key with this is not just doing it and putting yourself like an autopilot, but the key is to few things. One, make sure you're using a metronome to make sure that you're able to play on time. But then also you want to kind of strike each key with the same force. You don't want any keys to be lighter or harder than anything else. And you don't want to be touching other keys when you're not playing them. So you kind of want to like work on this thing, right? You want to work on each finger coming up and going down, like, so that it's building the strength with that. So let me try another one. So the next one's a little bit different. So first one was just, and then the next note, and then the next note, so on and so forth. The next one, number 2, goes. So you hear the variation, right? So as soon as it's interesting, as I'm still learning, as soon as I guess not interesting, it's maybe kind of obvious. As soon as I start thinking of something else as I'm playing, which is exactly what just happened, sometimes that results in, can you teach how to make beats or something for music videos? That's a good idea, Anthony. I definitely could see myself doing that for sure. Maybe at the end of this session, or maybe on a subsequent one, I'll definitely do that. Matter of fact, when it comes to one of the parts that I'm going to talk about today, the playing by ear, I think that part some of the stuff I'll talk about there definitely have a little bit to do with my process of producing as well. All right, so let me finish this one. So this is. That's number 2. I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 more. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the next piece, which is the playing by ear. And with regards to playing by ear, if any of you guys who are watching right now, how long you've been playing? I've been playing for about 2 years now, actually. Actually 3 years. 3 years. Wow. Yeah, when I turned 30, 3 years ago, is when I kind of first started getting into this whole thing and learning and started lessons and everything like that. All right, so yeah, and I do want this to be interactive for sure. This is a live nonetheless. If I didn't want it to be interactive, I probably would have just recorded this separately. But yeah, no, I appreciate the questions and comments. So I find it difficult to play chords with my left hand. Any advice? All right, so let me get into that actually in just a moment. I'm going to do the other 2 or 3 Hanon exercises, and then I'm going to talk about that. I think that's a great question. I'm assuming you're right-handed if you say that left hand you're having trouble with. That was 3, and then 4 is a little bit different. 4 is, I mean, everyone's a little bit different actually, but you know. Now backwards is a little bit different on this one. I think it's. So some of the things that that Hannon says when you're reading sort of this notes and stuff with each of the sections, it wants you to not move to the next one until you're able to play it all the way through up the keyboard and back down the keyboard without messing up, which is unlike what I just did, right? Definitely mess up a few times there. But yeah, you want to kind of make sure you're more than proficient in each exercise before moving to the next one. And you don't want to get bored with it. Like for me, maybe, I don't know, it depends how much time you're playing, how much time you have to practice and sit in front of the keyboard. If you're practicing for 30 minutes, then maybe you're spending 10 minutes on each of these three things. If you're practicing for longer, maybe you're spending 20 minutes if you're going for an hour. But you don't have to sit here and have like a spend an hour doing that. I suppose you can do that, but I think you can get tired really quickly going through those types of exercises. And to me, at least, like, I think everything works together, right? Everything works together. And for me, one of the really fun things is the next thing that we're going to do right after I answer a couple of these questions, which is like the playing by ear thing. So everyone listening, if you guys have any, is that a book you're using on your iPad? So that actually is a book. Yeah, I bought the digital version of the Hannon book, which is, this one I was showing. Let me know how this is coming in. I guess I can stand up and look. Yeah, it looks pretty sharp, I guess. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. That's Hannon right there, that person. And it has a lot of, a forward section here with a lot of information or preface section rather. And this is what it is, right? 3, and then there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They all kind of, if you're not into music, they all kind of look the same, but each variation is a little bit different. So you'll spend some time with that. And then there was a question about left hand. So I would say a couple of different things, right? So if you're right-handed, and the third piece that we're going to talk about is playing music, reading music, right? Is reading music. And typically, right, if you're right-handed and you're comfortable with the treble clef, like you'll start going through a piece and maybe you'll try to play the right hand first and play the second hand and left hand rather, and then kind of work your way work your way through the piece using that strategy. But I prefer playing with both hands together the first time through. Maybe not the absolute first time. Maybe the first time I'll do one hand and the other, but I wouldn't like master one hand before moving to the next, is the point I'm trying to make. And then I guess when it comes to, you said chords specifically, so we're talking, I mean, it might sound simple to say this, but it just basically takes practice, essentially. It's one of those things where if it's difficult to play with the left hand, obviously you want the way that you play it with the left hand is the same, in terms of holding an imaginary ball in your hand and, kind of doing this thing. But it's one of these things where it takes practice. I don't even know if I have anything specific to say about playing chords with the left hand, aside from it takes practice. I'll share a story. When I was playing this is not chords necessarily, but it kind of is a broken chord. When I was playing through the arabesque piece, which is this one. Haven't played it in a while, clearly, but yes, that piece, there's a part of that song that gets that's really, really difficult. That was extremely difficult for me, and it was playing two different rhythms, like one rhythm with the right hand, one with the left hand, and it's the part. I'll show you real quick. Actually, it's this part. I'll tell you when I get there because I want to get to that part. Let me change this. This part right here. So that part right there, I struggled with because it was so difficult to. It's even hard. So it's interesting. It's even hard to play those things separately because I guess my brain is so wired to play them together. Whereas before, when I'm practicing, it was easier to do with one hand. at a time because it was just really, really difficult. That looks difficult. Yeah, man. It's such a beautiful piece too. That I think maybe at the end of this session or maybe on a subsequent live that I do, I was gonna work through that piece, and I was trying to figure out like angles. I wanted to like have it so that you can see the notes on the screen. I have to figure that out. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just got to figure out. But yeah, I was gonna work through like where I'm at in that song and kind of explain how. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna do that today. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do that when we're talking about the reading music part. I'm gonna like go to where I am in that song and just kind of give you guys a glimpse into my process of how do I go about reading music, which is by far my weakest component of the three. That's the part that I really do need to spend more time on a day-to-day basis is reading music that I haven't seen before and just kind of making it a lot stronger, right? Being able to read notes and get them a lot quicker. But that's the second thing. The first thing. The second thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about playing by ear. And this is fun for me because I'm going to go, I don't even know what's going to come up, but I'm going to go to my YouTube playlist. Matter of fact, I was listening to some oldies just recently, so maybe let's see what I have on here. Put that on. Well, essentially what I'm going to do here is like put a playlist on, shuffle some songs, and I'm going to try to play them by ear and show you guys like what I'm thinking as I'm going through that process. So let's see. So here's Michael Jackson. So, all right, for example, this is Michael Jackson, Got to Be There. So let's play this for a little bit, and then let me show you what I'm thinking here. So I would hear that, and I'm like, okay, now I want to practice some, playing by ear. Let me read this. I've never had a music class before. I learned to play by ear and taught myself from there on. Yeah, I've heard several people. Whoops, sorry about that. Let me just turn that, probably a little feedback. Yeah, I've heard several people say that. And that was actually my story, as a matter of fact, right? I started when I was much younger. I was able to play by ear, but never really developed that and never really learned how to, technique and all that stuff as a child. And it's always stuck with me. Like I've always wanted to get back into it. And that's why when I turned 30, as I mentioned earlier, that's kind of what got me back into the music space. But so we just heard Michael Jackson. So let me play the beginning again. So this is what I would do. First of all, and I think I got to pause this so that it doesn't keep playing loud on there. The instrument sounds like a harpsichord. So I would go to that. That doesn't have as much to do with the playing by ear part, but I just, like being able to get the instruments right if I can. So let's hear this again. Dun, dun. So this is what I'm thinking, right? The very first note or very first sound that we hear is this. Is that. So not that, the second one. But I can now tell, which I wasn't able to tell before, but I've developed this from doing a lot of practicing, is that first tone or that first sound is actually definitely has this in it, but it's actually, I can hear that it's two notes that are playing. And so I would listen to it a couple of times. I'm pretty sure that's it right there. I'm pretty sure for any, oral listeners out there, I think it's actually more than that. So I'm listening again. That sounds like it's probably a 3-note chord. It's probably this is what I'm hearing. At first I thought it was 2 notes, but it sounds like it's 3 notes because this didn't sound exactly right. So this is going to be a little more challenging, but that's okay. So the second note, and so this is the process, right? So I know that this is the first note. And this may or may not be the, I mean, I suppose there's many different processes for playing by ear. Some people may even be able to get it quicker. I'm sure they can, but this is my process, right? That, and then I know the second part has this in it. So for example, if I were to play that beginning part with only like the dominant note in each tone. So let me listen again. So these notes that I'm playing are in the chords or the sections of the song, but obviously there's more notes in each one, right? Let me see. Whoops, that's the next song. Dun, 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 dun. Got to be. And then maybe let's try to play some of the bass notes in here. Let's see. Doom, doom. Doom, 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 baby. So a little glimpse into what I'm doing here and stuff. So I'm thinking at this point, I sometimes will just bounce around if I'm either not feeling it or if it's beyond my scope, or if I just want to go to a different song, I'll just like experiment with different ones. So I might hop over here. So that right there. So it's, nope. And then it's and then it's so I would do that, and then I would probably, let me see. And then all night. So I would do that right there. And then it's, and then da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's try that with the string. Let me listen again. That's a quick string. So that's, yeah. All right. So that's just a little glimpse right there, right? And then also, like, you kind of have, let me show you guys something else here, like something like this. Let's see, one of my favorite albums of all time, something like this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard him say, nothing's ever promised tomorrow today from the shot like
so this is an example of one that I'm not learning now on the fly, but I have learned, and this is how it sounds. So I'm getting some play the all night chord in the left hand. All right, I got you. I'm gonna actually do that. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chats here. Nice. Next to Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. All right, good request. Let me actually get both of those. Let me show you guys this first, and then I'm gonna get those requests in. So this is a finished product, kind of a song. I love this song. Yeah, so something like that. Play the all night chords. That was so you were talking about deeper, like let me listen to the song again. Let's see, where was that at? Where's Rock With You at? Where is that at on here? I guess I just type it in. I thought it would show up on the shuffle again, but it did not. Rock With You. So the all night sounded like it was higher pitched, but let me just see. Oh no, you're right. You're right. That should be left hand. It should be like this. And then, but they kind of both in here. They're kind of both right in the middle of the keyboard. Let me see. That might even be here. And then here. That might be like that. And then I might even consider going in here just because it's not really piano and looking at the synth lead. Too high. Let me see. That's kind of, but it's a little more creamy. See, I would need to split this. Now I'm getting into like sound designing and trying to figure out exactly, but that's a separate, I have a different keyboard for that. But all right, so it's so check that out. So I was kind of stuck at the starting note earlier, if you remember, but clearly it's this. It's dun, 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 dun. It's kind of like that. But it's more this one. I don't know, I can't jump that fast. So this is testing my ability to, let's see. It's kind of this. So here's another little tip is I'm trying to go from play that quickly, but that's how many notes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 notes and then back to this. So 7 keys. So you have to we only have 5 fingers, right? So when you're dealing with, make sure I get this right. Now I'm live. These notes right here, your C sharp and D sharp. You can't do this you have to use either these two fingers, I think, or even these two, but I'm going to experiment and see what works the best. So I'm thinking that these two, because I need to bring the thumb under to get back over, right? So you guys see that? Let me see, where's my chat here? Yeah, so it needs to go like that. Now I'm not sure how someone, I mean, I don't have that ability yet to jump, and I don't even know if that's as quick as that's sounding. So something like that. Let me show you guys another one really quick here. That I doubt anyone here has ever heard, but it's a beautiful piece that I'm currently working on using this different guitar instrument. So this one is called Calm Before the Storm. I'm just gonna play just like the beginning of it and show you. All right, so that probably is not even sounding that sharp, like with through the speaker there, but that's fine. So that one. Yeah. Yes, I love that. All right, so let me go. So that's a little glimpse into reading music by, or just listening to something and then not reading, but playing by ear. And then trying to go back to my live one here. I think I'm live. All right, and then play that in E piano. Okay, let's try that. I like that. Maybe with the little drums on it too. Let me see. Slower drums with like a chill out drum pattern. Tempo, slow it down. And let's see. Turn the sound, turn the sound of the drums down a little bit. Let's see. Actually, that probably wouldn't even sound good with the drums. Let's just try it with the E piano. See, I don't know if I like the E piano as much because, well, maybe it's the way that I'm playing. Here's another little thing is I'm using a lot of pedal on this song, right? So the way it sounded with the pedal, it's not hard, it's not overly mushed together. But with the E piano, if I use the same amount of pedal, that doesn't sound half bad, actually. I guess I'm so used to hearing it with the guitar, that steel guitar. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about, at least for this video, just to keep this particular video concise, even though it hasn't been, because I was just kind of just improvising a little bit earlier, which is fine. Is I want to pull up a what do I want to pull up? A song that I'm currently not stuck at, but basically stuck at, like haven't learned much more of it from where I'm at right now, which is what I was playing earlier. So let's go to Arabesque. I'm gonna pull that back up over here. Set list, Kevin. And this app that I'm using here is called Fourscore, and it's a great music sheet music repository. So one little tip I can give is definitely it's okay to, especially as you're learning, like to mark up your music. So this is the third classical song that I have learned. So the first one is this one. You know what I think I might want to do actually, instead of Arabesque, because I think what I want to actually do, the very first song that I started learning when I first started taking lessons, which was, like I mentioned, about 3 years ago. I'm not currently taking lessons anymore. I took them for about a year. It was around Christmas time. It was shortly before Christmas, and I remember telling my piano instructor that I wanted to learn a Christmas song and but a nice version of it. And so she came up with this, that I don't have the full song down yet. So I think that's what I actually want to start with, is playing it to as far as I can go, and then kind of walking through relearning some of the parts. I never even got it fully down start to finish, kind of like got close and then maybe got distracted with a different song. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to White Christmas Jazz. And that's what happens, right? So I have like this list of all these songs. These are like my songs for the most part. This kind of covers, I think there might be a couple others that aren't on the list that maybe I don't have sheet music for, but this covers like my range of songs that I either know how to play or knew how to play at some point, or kind of started the process of playing it. And I like being able to look at this, because sometimes you may forget songs that you knew how to play because of the list of songs is too much, right? It's too much to kind of remember. So this has kind of helped me keep things in check a little bit. So I kind of like it. But let's go to this. And maybe what we'll do today is we'll get through, this is the whole song actually. Let's get through this whole entire song, right? I'm pretty much good up until like this area. So I'm going to walk through this stuff with you guys, like how I go about relearning some of that. And you'll see that relearning music is fun and inspiring, because, at least for me, it has been, because it kind of picks up, like it kind of starts clicking once you kind of start getting the notes correct, and kind of just removing the cobwebs, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to play up until where I know, and then I'm going to talk you through what I'm kind of working through here. So that I messed up already. Let's see. So this part is, let's see. I got through that, muscled through it a little bit, but I'm going to play that again and try to not mess up. All right, let's see how we're doing here. So this part here is the slow down, kind of softer. So that's not quite it. All right, so give you a glimpse of where I'm at. This is, and again, next time I'm going to get like a better setup, but I think you guys can see, right? I'm like doing this part, this bottom section here. And that is the sort of slow down part of the song, or it's not really a slow down, but like the, I guess, bridge or refrain maybe or something. And I actually want to play this part because like this part sounds so beautiful to me, and like I would just kind of play this part repeating with a different instrument and just much slower than the tempo of the rest of the song, just because it sounds nice. So let me try to do that right now. Actually, I think up here. I gotta play the notes right first. Let me try with the regular instrument. Yeah, this is what I was actually doing. I was doing this actually the same thing, but without the bass and just the middle notes here. Let me see. What is that last part? That's so it's this. There we go. Yeah, so that's how it sounds. And I really like the way that sounds. Even like softer. Kind of like with this here. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about fun. Like when you're reading music or when you're doing whatever on the piano, I think it's important to sometimes just have fun with it in the sense of if you're digging something and you're liking the way something sounds, you just it's okay to veer off and just experiment. Like that's what I did when I first realized how much I like that part. And then maybe sometimes I'll put this like a Christmas swing rhythm to it. And let's see how this sounds. That's too fast though. Let's bring this slower a little bit. Here we go. Still a little fast. See, I don't like the bass changing so frequently with every note that I play. So I would probably go in here and I would turn off bass, turn off bass, and then try that again. All right, so now I so the second time you play that part in this song, it changes and it sounds even nicer. And so I want to kind of get to that part and then kind of get ready. Hey, happy Sunday. Cisco V, that's my man Frank. What's going on, brother, man? Pretty sure that's who that is. Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments. All right, let me keep this rocking here. See, I sometimes get, and this is the other thing too. I mentioned it's okay to veer off and like experiment with other things while you're playing, but I also think it's important to my man Frank. I also think it's important to make sure that like if you're, hey, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing really good. Just doing a little. I don't even know. I mean, I do know what this is. It just kind of impromptu, glimpse into my piano process here a little bit. And something I think I want to start doing a little bit more now that I'm actually, so I could share this with you guys, my, people that are watching now. I'm offering piano lessons, and I'm not trying to promote it to anyone here or anything like that, unless if you're interested, in which case I am trying to promote it to you. But I tutor math, and I recently started offering piano lessons as well virtually to my, clientele. And man, if it's not the most rewarding thing ever, like that is where it's at. Getting paid for teaching something that I love teaching. And it's super exciting. I have like 2 new clients coming up tomorrow, actually, that I'm working with. And then I have 3 others that I've been previously working with. So I'm really, really excited about it. And yeah, this might be an opportunity just to kind of continue reinforcing, and maybe for those people to log in. And obviously for anyone else who's interested in learning, getting started with the piano, I'll probably figure out like a structure to this, so it's not just random thoughts, random videos. But today's, was the 3 things that I started talking about, and now we're on the 3rd one. But I'm doing great, Frank, man. I appreciate you hopping on for sure. And yeah, doing really good. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, you know what time it is, bro. You know what time. I was playing for you guys earlier the classical song, and then the second one. So that was the first one. This is the second one that I learned before learning the arabesque one that I played earlier. So that's the second one. Third is arabesque, the one I started playing earlier. And then those 3 I learned, and I'm still working through arabesque. But I have Cassia purchased for my daughter. Hey, that's awesome, man. So she's gonna get into music stuff, or has she taken lessons before? That's awesome, bro. Happy to hear that. Use it like 5 times. Oh, this year you bought it. Okay. So you got it for her with hopes that she would start using it, but she hasn't taken to it that much yet. How old is your daughter? So the 3rd one, guys, is this one. I'm actually gonna play through this in its entirety. It's a short piece, but this is a Bach song that most of you, if not all of you, have heard before. A little loud. All right, take a deep breath and start over. How did I mess up at the very end? I got to run that back. Oh, a comment. Keep them coming. I enjoyed it. Oh, very cool. Thank you for that Instagram comment. Okay. Yeah, so little process flow here. So we talked about how, and I don't know if this is good or bad, maybe I'll know in a few years in retrospect or something, but we talked about how I was starting this process doing this song and saying to you guys that, all right, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to, I'm going to play up until the part of that song that I don't know yet, or I don't remember, and I'm going to work through that. However, I didn't do that just now. So one of my challenges is like, it's not, I guess the least fun thing for me on the piano is reading music, because I'm not great at it, and I'm good enough at it, and it's something that I need to continue working on. But that's not as fun doing that as it is doing this, right? Whoops. You get the picture. It's playing something that you know how to play. It's not as fun like reading music, but that's what I just did just now. Sometimes I find myself going back to playing something that I do know how to play just because it's more fun, which is okay. But I think it's important to make sure that you do get back to what you know you need to practice. So I'm saying it out loud. So let's actually go ahead and do that. You're not going to get better at reading music overnight. And you're not going to get better if you constantly, I think it's okay sometimes if you just like, you just want to play something fun that's obviously perfectly fine. But I think the big thing for me, at least, is, and everyone's different, of course, but the big thing for me is making sure that you get back to reading music and putting some time in. So like, for example, right now, I was at this part of the song. So let me get this part and then like the next two measures down, and let me look at the notes and figure out what's happening here. So I left off at this part. I'll play through the top again. And it's okay to slow down too, right? You don't have to play fast just because you know certain parts fast. Like, it's okay to play at a slower pace to kind of get your bearings. So this part. So first of all, everything up to that point you can use pedal with, and you heard me using pedal, but this part I believe you don't need any pedal on. So let's see how this sounds with no pedal. So here. All right. Nope. Almost. So that's how you get through a part. You just take your time, know that you have confidence in yourself, that you understand what you're doing, and just work through it. So that's the first part of the song. That gets us to the second part. Now the second part of the song changes and a little bit, and so the second part goes like this. Dun, 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 dun. And there's certain embellishments that I'm doing, right? That trill is not on the notes here, nor is the thing I did at the beginning. Like certain things, if you're feeling, especially with jazz, this is a jazz piece, right? This is jazz chords. You take a look here, right? Obviously, White Christmas Jazz, it says, and then this is like a lead sheet, which means that it has the chords names up top, but it also has the chord, the regular note, what do you call it? Treble clef notation of the chords as well. Whereas another song that I'll probably do next time doesn't have the notes for the chord, it just has the name. You have to be able to look at it and say, oh, G major 7, G major, and then 7. And then be able to, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, but this is kind of fun and important. And then we talk about inversion. So like, just because it says G major 7, it doesn't mean that you're going to play this version of the chord. You might play an inverted version of the chord, which takes these notes and bring them to the next octave. This is the same chord, G major 7, same notes, just different octave. But the reason you use inversions, as I've learned, is because when you're bouncing from one chord to the next, using inversions helps you so that you don't have to bounce from, say if you're going from, let's give you an example, C major 7 to G major 7. So if I'm going from, even I don't like the way that actually sounds jumping from there. Let's maybe pick a different one. Well, that's fine. This chord, I think even that might, well, all right, we'll stick with this. So jumping from this chord to this chord, when you're doing this way, it doesn't sound as good because you're jumping from like one section of the keyboard to another section. So if I play the same notes this way, we see that the other two notes, are, so the other two notes that are different from chord to chord are these two. So essentially what I'm saying is to jump from here to here is the same as jumping from this to that. This chord and this chord is the same as this chord to this chord, except the second one has an inversion. We'll get into that more, on one of the subsequent ones. But that's kind of what I wanted to share. If anyone has any and Frank, I didn't even message or respond to you. Okay. Yo, hit me up, man. I don't know if you're interested in lessons or not, but hit me up, man. I have 9-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and 2 9-year-olds actually that I'm working with. So if you're interested, definitely, I would love to reach, help your daughter reach her musical goals, whatever those might be. All right, I think I want to play. If you guys have any requests for anything that you want to hear, you guys feel free to send me put a thing in the chat. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, put a message in the chat if you have a specific song, and I'll like play that by ear or try to play it by ear. But in the meantime, let's actually do a little bit of this. little nervous because I'm wondering if this battery is about to die. Yep, it sure is. Well, you know what? I still want to play, and I did bring this cable over here, so I think that's what we're going to do. It's going to be in the frame, but such is life, right? Sometimes you got to make sacrifices. Look at that. It tilts a little bit because the cable's pulling down, but that's fine. So this song I'll play right now. Now I'm just, yeah, so I guess that ends the main tutorial part of this. Now I just want to like play some stuff, just have a little fun. So let's play Scarborough Fair. This is a song that is sad because it uses minor chords and it's very emotional, I think. Yeah, all right. I like that one. All right, what else do I want to play? Let's play. See, this is going to kind of get in my way a little bit, this cable, but that's okay. Autumn Leaves. You guys know Autumn Leaves? So this part of the song I always mess up on. Maybe now's a good time for me to figure out exactly what this right chord is. So yeah, so let's figure that chord out, and then I'm probably going to wrap up today's session. So that chord, first of all, where's the song? And then I'm going to go get some pizza because we have leftover pizza. And I have been thinking about that for the past like 25 minutes. So here, that's C minor, I think. Yep. Yeah. Huh. So that is G minor, and then this next one is a F sharp, is a D7, D dominant 7 with F sharp on the lowest note. So yeah, that's it. Hang on, so it's, yeah, there we go. So that's it. It's this, and then nope. You hear that? That's like a smooth chord progression. That's a D dominant 7 to F minor 7. I love it. See, that's what I love that. That's just dope to me. It's really nice sounding. But now I have to be able to play it while I'm playing, right? Get it correct. So let's see. And let's put a little rhythm on, and let's make this a little up tempo for the last song of the evening before I go get that pizza. You know what I'm saying? Let's change this to a different. Hey, a little gospel. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. hang on. We turned off the bass, but now we want the bass back in here. Oops. Metronome, bass on. Here we go. Here we go. I love that. Dope. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's dope. I love that. All right, here we go. 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 Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks to everyone so much for joining. This was a lot of fun. I know I'm going to do something like this more recurring. Just figure out like a format, maybe every so often, every week or every certain day, certain time, and just talk piano and just chill out, play some stuff, do a little tutorial stuff, and I think it'll be great. All right, so I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks again for joining. Here's my face. Appreciate you guys. Take care.